Last year's flu season was an important reminder that the flu is a serious and unpredictable disease. In fact, this past flu season set the record for the highest number of flu-related deaths in children. Joining me now are Dr. Luis Romano and Cerise Murata, who lost her 5-year-old son from complications associated with the flu. Welcome, you two. Appreciate you being here.
Good morning.
I want to start with you, Dr. Romano. Describe to us, I think a lot of times we think we know what the flu is. We've had it before, but what is the clinical terminology for the flu? Describe the symptoms, exactly what it is.
Yeah, so influenza or the flu is a respiratory contagious disease that can spread very easily through respiratory secretions. The classical symptoms are high fever, aching muscles, sore throat, dry cough, a runny or stuffy nose, headache, and also in young children they can present with vomiting or diarrhea.
And who can be impacted by the flu? Is it just very young and very old, or is it everybody?
So let me be very clear. Anyone can be impacted by the flu. And as you just mentioned, just last year there was 80,000 people who lost their lives due to flu infection. So that is why it's so important that everybody who's 6 months and older should get a flu vaccine each and every year, because flu can impact anyone.
And, you know, you hear a lot of people say, you know, I take the flu vaccine or maybe I skip it because it's not really effective. What do you say to people that don't partake in getting a flu vaccine every year?
So the flu vaccines do work. They prevent millions of illnesses, hundreds of thousands of hospitalizations, and they prevent deaths every single year. And also what I will tell them is that it's not just about protecting themselves, it's about protecting the loved ones, it's about protecting the community, because by getting the flu vaccine, you also lower the risk of spreading the disease. So it's very important to understand all this information and, you know, just to understand the true value of flu vaccines.
Right. And I know, Mrs. Murata, can you share the story of how the flu impacted you and your family? I know that this touched you in a special way with your son.
Yes, absolutely. We were personally affected by influenza in October 2009. My 5-year-old son, Joseph, was healthy at the time. He became ill, quite innocently enough. A sniffle and a cough quickly progressed. We ended up in the local children's hospital, and he was initially diagnosed with pneumonia and then diagnosed with influenza. And the 10th day in his hospital stay, his condition quickly deteriorated, and he ended up losing his life due to complications of influenza. So as a parent, I certainly now know the dangers of flu and how potentially it can be life-threatening. And we raise awareness about that, let other parents know that the single most important thing that they can do to protect themselves and their families is get vaccinated each and every year.
Mrs. Murata, you know, we really appreciate you being here and sharing that with other parents. I think hearing it parent to parent, it really registers. Dr. Romano, can you tell our viewers how they can protect themselves and their families in getting the flu? Where can they go for more information?
So you can go to flu.gsk.com. That is flu.gsk.com. And you can also find good information at the CDC flu website. That's at www.flu.gov.
All right. Dr. and Mrs. Romano, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.